If we're not at a Disney park, we're dreaming about being there, and a cup of Joffrey's Coffee Disney Blend helps. But what about when you're at a Disney park? The Joffrey's Disney Kiosk and Restaurant Locator will make sure you never miss out, whether it's a cool drink on a hot summer vacation or a great cup of coffee at a Disney signature restaurant. Joffrey's has you covered. Check it out at Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
To our new passengers, aloha and welcome aboard.
Hey everybody, welcome to ResortLoop.com. I'm your host, Bob Collar. It is movie review time, and of course, as always, my son Bobby's joining me for this movie review. Hello, Bobby.
Hello.
What are we going to review today? Mary Poppins. No, we're not.
Yeah, we're going to review Mary Poppins Returns.
Kinda. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Not Returns.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. But we are reviewing Avengers Endgame.
Little indie film that Disney decided to release. It seems to be doing fairly well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost $2.5 billion. I think it's like 3 weeks in already.
Yeah. Almost. Did it beat Avatar yet?
Not,
or is it almost?
Maybe by the time this thing airs, it will have beaten Avatar.
Probably.
Absolutely. When you've got a movie that's making $1 billion a week, it's not a bad film.
No. It's definitely not a bad film. No.
Gotta pay for Galaxy's Edge somehow. So this is gonna have spoilers in it. So please, if you haven't seen the movie, don't listen. We waited almost 3 weeks. It is 3 weeks, before we talked about it. You had your shot. If you haven't seen it, stop listening. Because we are going to talk, about some of the things that happened in the movie. But then we're going to talk about, too, the things that are going to be coming up for the MCU as far as Disney is concerned.
The future.
The future. Of some of our favorite characters. There's a lot going on with Marvel. We're not going to touch on everything, but we're going to touch on some of the things that are favorites from the Disney MCU end of it. Are concerned. So what did you think of the film?
I thought that
exactly speechless.
Okay, yeah,
this movie leaves you that way.
I think outside of myself, that this movie has the same impact as maybe even more so, Return of the Jedi. This is my generation's Return of the Jedi. This is the culmination of all of these characters that I grew up with, and many people like me have grown up with, and I've come to identify with. This is the end game. This is the checkmate.
Right.
This is the final moment of these characters, and it's a cinematic spectacle that I can't even begin to describe. It's a fantastic movie.
It's so well done. And I know a lot of people are like, oh man, it's 3 hours long. It's so long. I will say this. I just gotta say this. I watched the old cowboy movie Hondo with John Wayne. Hondo is a little more than an hour and a half. And it had an intermission. Disney, you could put an intermission in. I know they didn't want to, spoil the momentum of the film. I get that, and I agree, but it was well worth. 3 hours. I hate to snap my fingers, but it went so quickly.
Yeah.
That it was just very, very well done. And like you said, the culmination of so many films, all of those Marvel films coming together. The Russo brothers did a phenomenal job.
Oh, it's fantastic. Fantastic.
I'm not sure anybody else could have pulled all of that together as well as the Russo brothers. By the way, Northeast Ohio natives. Just saying. So, Hollywood, if you're looking for some Northeast Ohio talent, look at Northeast Ohio. We get some pretty good talent. Anyway, so the movie starts out The movie starts out with Hawkeye right out of the gate.
Yeah.
You're ready to start bawling.
Turning on the tear ducts already.
Come on! Are you kidding me with that?
Yeah. And I like how they approached that. I liked how they opened it up with, this is what happened.
Everybody was wondering, where's Hawkeye in this whole thing? You know, because he was such a big part of all the Avengers movies up to Infinity Wars.
Yeah. He was kind of the background actor, the guy who was keeping it. He was like the connection to S.H.I.E.L.D. He was just kind of in the background keeping the Avengers together.
Right.
You know, especially in Age of Ultron where they went to his house and, you know, there was the line where she said, this is when they need you the most, where his wife says that. And,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So, very well done how they set you up for the movie. You know, got you upset again. Yeah. I mean, let's face it, folks. We all, at the end of Infinity Wars, were like, I need to see what happens. I need to go into the next theater, next door, and see what's going on because I can't wait until Endgame comes out now.
Yeah.
And so they kind of threw those emotions back at you right out of the gate.
Yeah. And Infinity War was really the first movie where the superheroes lost. And not like lost, but they kind of won. It was like they completely failed.
Right.
And then that carries on into Endgame, and it's the driving plot point of Endgame, and it's really interesting to see how that unfolds.
So well done. So well done. Some people are asking, can you see this movie if you're not an MCU fan, if you haven't watched all the other movies? And your answer to that is?
No. Definitely not. No, because it's like going to a Harry Potter book, you know, and then reading the Deathly Hallows, and it's like, okay, but I have no idea what's going on. It's like going to the 22nd chapter of a book and complaining because it didn't summarize the other 21 chapters.
Right. You don't understand
what's
going on. Right.
In order to give this movie justice and understand what's happening and understand how these characters are reacting to their situations, you have to see how they've developed over time, which means watching the other movies.
Right. Now, most of the other Marvel movies you can kind of watch without having the backstory of how everything played out. Yeah, this one you've got to know what's going on,
or at least have seen Infinity War. At least,
and even then, you know, you don't want to be. Listen, you don't want to be that person in the theater that all these Marvel fans have waited so long to see this movie. And you don't want to be that person in the theater going, I don't understand. Why is that guy doing that?
Yeah, don't be that. You know, don't be that guy.
Who's
watch the movies.
Who's the guy with the bow and arrow? Why are they so upset? You know,
take 2 days and just binge watch them.
Exactly.
I think it's actually 48 hours the entire.
Wow.
So yeah, just take 2 days and just watch all of them.
What was the thing you told me about the I Love You 3000?
Oh yeah, I can't say this for sure.
Right.
But I saw something online that the entire screen time of all of the MCU movies rounds out at about 3,000 minutes.
Right.
So in that line, I'm not sure if that's what inspired the line. I also heard that Robert Downey Jr. says that to his kids, so to make the scene more like personal. But I don't know. That's just what I heard.
And what was the reference to upper 600s or something for Pepper? He tells her you were somewhere in the upper 600s.
Yeah, he tells Pepper that she's in
again. This is a theory. This is out there.
This is
we
not
don't know
confirmed.
for sure.
But he tells Pepper you're up in the 600 to 900 range, and I'm pretty sure that the entire runtime for all of the DCEU movies is between 600 and 900 minutes. So that was a very, 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 very subtle jab at their competitor.
I am gonna say that's probably what it's about. Yeah. I can't verify. I will not verify this, but I think that is hilarious. If that's really what went down, that's fantastic. And of course, so much emotion going on, once, Black Widow finds Hawkeye, who he's kind of gone off the rails.
Yeah.
He's taken out all the bad, he's done. He is done dealing with bad people.
Yeah. Well, he figures that, he said that, the guy was like, why are you after me? And he said, well, everybody else had Thanos, you have me. So he doesn't really see it as a justice that these bad people are still around, but it was his family who got dusted.
Right.
So I think that was his motivation.
And I think a lot of people can relate to that because, you lose a loved one and you always are thinking, okay, I've lost this person in my life that was so important, a good person. I love this person. Why is this horrible person still alive?
Yeah.
But my loved one is no longer with us. So it's a powerful moment if you really allow yourself to think about what he's gone through. He lost everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
in front of him. At least with most of the Marvel characters.
Yeah. And it's probably more difficult for him as a character because of Civil War and that he couldn't be there to fight Thanos.
Right.
Because he was on house arrest because of the whole Civil War thing.
Right. Which is what the ankle bracelet was about.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Thor?
At first I didn't like Thor. I'm gonna be honest.
And this is after the initial thing that they do when they find Thanos, and then Thor. That's 5 years after that.
Yeah.
And Thor is a little different.
Yeah, I at first didn't like new Thor because I thought that he was just comedy relief.
Right.
And that they just made him to ease the mood of the movie a little bit.
Right.
But then I watched it for the second time, and I think that was a very good thing to do to his character to show how low he got after he failed.
Oh, absolutely.
He
blamed himself. He blamed himself for all of it.
Yeah. And I think that was a good arc for his character because throughout all of the Thor movies, he's always struggled with trying to be the best.
Oh, always.
In the first Thor trying to impress his father, and the second Thor,
Right.
So this has been a theme, and then for the one moment where he actually has to act his best and he has to save the world, he fails.
Right.
So it's what does a hero do after he was the one that killed half of the population of the universe?
In his heart, that's what he felt. It's and it is. It's like the kid who drops the touchdown pass in the in the championship game.
Yeah.
The reality of it is, if everybody else had scored more points, if all of his team had done more, it wouldn't have fallen on his shoulders to catch that final pass. But that's how he felt, and he was done. He was done.
Yeah.
He's like, what's the point? There's nobody else left to fight, to save. It's all done.
Yeah. I really liked how they showed him in his worst state, how he was thought that he was useless because he couldn't save the world. And I think that was a really, really interesting way that they took the character.
I gotta say, fantastic seeing Korg.
Oh, I love Korg. Korg's one of my favorite characters. He's had 15 minutes of screen time. I love him. He's
fantastic.
Great.
So good to see those guys back in the movies. But and then of course once Black Widow does find Hawkeye, and then they got to go and they got to find the stone.
Yeah.
And I think that was a good scene. The fact that they were both willing to sacrifice themselves.
Yeah. It was such a powerful scene.
So well done.
Yeah.
So well done.
And it's the first time that you see Black Widow was in Iron Man 2.
Right.
And you just think that she's a spy under the thumb of Nick Fury, and then you see her throughout these movies become more part of the Avengers.
Right.
And then in Endgame, it's even, because she's even said this was the only family I ever had.
Right.
And before this I was basically nothing, and that she was willing to sacrifice herself.
And you want to talk about
character
development. I mean, they took her, like you said, from Iron Man 2 and developed that character that, I mean, it was powerful sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, what happened with her. And, man. And you could see the emotion on Hawkeye's face. It was devastating.
Yeah.
So that was powerful. And then, of course, I can't wait till this movie comes out on DVD, because I gotta see the final battle scene.
Oh, man.
Where apparently, I mean, it happened so fast. All these people coming through all these portals of that Doctor Strange made.
Yeah.
I guess Howard the Duck was there.
Yeah, Howard the Duck was there.
I get to see him. The Ravagers.
The Ravagers were there.
In.
The Asgardians were there in like their full armor, which confused me because I thought that Asgard was destroyed.
Well, no, well, that's true. Most of them were just,
suspending disbelief, it was an awesome scene.
Well, you gotta remember, no, they weren't, because, they were brought back as well. Everybody was, I don't know. Yeah, there's, okay.
But we suspend our disbelief because it was an awesome scene where it showed the whole lineup.
Where did the flying horse, where did Pegasus come from with Valkyrie? Come on.
Yeah.
How
did Rhodey get into that new Iron Patriot suit? We don't know. But it's cool, so we just ignore it and just watch the scene.
Right, exactly. It's cool, so we let it be. Exactly. As long as you're giving us a cool movie, we're good with it.
Yeah.
So, and I just think, no better way to end the movie than the way it ended. It was talk about a culmination of a career for Robert Downey Jr. I mean, the role.
It was,
and again, you look at somebody like Black Widow, okay? Only cared about herself, wouldn't have sacrificed herself for anybody.
Yeah.
Willing to sacrifice herself. Same thing with Tony Stark. Tony Stark, when you see him at the beginning, Iron Man, and then you see what happens at the end of Endgame, again, incredible character development.
Beautiful scene.
Fantastic acting by Robert Downey Jr. Incredibly emotional scene.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was a tough one. My allergies were kicking up.
Oh, yeah.
Like you wouldn't believe.
No, me too.
It was horrible.
Bad pollen in there, yeah.
Bad pollen in the theater. It was maybe it was dust. Dust from the popcorn or something, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I actually, I watched a video with the Russo brothers where they were breaking down the most significant, MCU moments, and they talked about the scene where Thanos says, "I am inevitable," and originally, I am Iron Man, that line wasn't put in until January, their final shoot. They were like, these are our final reshoot days. And it was originally just going to be Tony looking at him, smiling, and then snapping his fingers, but they thought it was an empty scene.
Right.
And their editor, who was the editing guy throughout all of the MCU movies, said, well, he said, "I am Iron Man" in the first movie. What if he just looked at him and said, "I am Iron Man"? And they were like, that's genius. We're putting that in. And that was that was the final scene that they shot in their Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That was it. That was the end of it.
Yeah, and they said it was oddly poetic that happened.
Would be the last scene.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it was, I got it. Those are two of the most powerful scenes for me. And then the third one that happened was when Spider-Man comes through and he's like, "Mr. Stark, I was gone. I didn't know where I was at. I was gone for a little bit. I'm back, but is everything okay? What's going on?" And Tony just hugs him.
Mm-hmm.
Again, too much pollen.
Again, also,
too much pollen.
Character development, because in Spider-Man Far From Home, remember he goes to get the door and he hugs him and he's like, "No, we aren't there yet."
We ain't there yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he loses him and then he comes back and then he hugs him.
And that was
Yeah.
It
that
was like
poetic mentor passing on the torch thing.
He felt responsible for getting him involved in the whole thing.
Yeah.
This is a kid that should have just stayed in New York City and been the, Spider-Man fighting off, purse snatchers and bank robbers. Instead, he's in space.
Yeah.
doing things he shouldn't be doing. So he felt extremely responsible for him. So
Yeah. Also, we glossed over when Captain America wields Mjolnir.
oh my gosh, yeah,
That
Thor's
scene,
hammer.
when
yeah.
that happened, when I saw it raise off the ground,
Yep.
I was like, oh no, this isn't happening. And
Yep.
then he catches it and there's that hero shot of him
Right.
looking up. I started freaking out.
Had
I
no
thought that was
idea
the
who that
coolest
was-
thing ever.
who was going to get that? But yeah, it was very.
That
cool.
was great. I love
Very
that scene.
cool to see Cap, and a great way to wrap up Captain America's career in the MCU as well.
Yeah.
Just you felt so good and happy for him. You're sad for yourself as a fan,
Yeah.
but you're happy for him.
Yeah. It was even, personally for me, it was so significant because he was like my favorite character. I looked up to
Right.
Captain America as a kid.
Right.
And then they sent him off and he got the ending that he always wanted.
Right.
And like it was, they couldn't have done that more perfect.
Made
He
everything
got the
right.
life that he always wanted, and that made me so emotional.
Oh, I mean,
was-
Tony and his dad. Come on.
Yeah,
A lot of hidden. I can't wait until the DVD comes out. There's a lot of hidden things in there that I missed, and as I'm watching things on YouTube, and you're telling me things, there's a lot of cool stuff that was going on in that movie that we didn't catch it because there was so much going on in that movie. So really looking forward to that. And speaking of movies, so here's what we got coming out. We got a Black Widow movie coming out.
yeah, directed by Scarlett Johansson.
I cannot wait for this movie.
It's going to be fantastic.
The hints of the whole Bucharest thing,
Budapest.
or Budapest thing, Budapest, same place, I think. I don't know. I'm not a geometry guy. So anyway, those, I can't wait to see the interaction, how her and Hawkeye meet, because they're going to have them.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see that, the backstory.
Yeah,
I'm
hoping
how that all happened.
Yeah, I'm hoping more for a Winter Soldier kind of feel. More real world, more like a spy thriller more than a superhero movie. I think that would be a really interesting, more like a James Bond-esque kind of thing. I think that would be cool.
And unfortunately, I mean, we're all aging here, and so are the actors, and Scarlett Johansson and Jeremy Renner are aging. So they gotta move it along relatively quickly. But I'd like to see an origin story, how that all started with her, almost like a Jason Bourne kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And then a second movie, a Black Widow 2, where then you introduce the Jeremy Renner character of Hawkeye and how they met and how leading you up to, how she ends up working for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, well, I think they have more time than we think because if Samuel L. Jackson and Captain Marvel, they did the de-aging CGI stuff, and he looked like he did 10 years ago.
Michael Douglas, forget about it.
Yeah, Michael Douglas,
Kurt Russell,
Robert Downey Jr. in Civil
Robert
War.
Downey Jr.
Yeah,
looked great.
So I think that they can pull some of that stuff out.
I hope so. I hope so. I'd love to see that. So Black Widow movie, can't wait to see that. Black Panther 2.
I'm excited for that.
Can't wait for that one.
Yeah.
They're saying
I love the
2021
first
for
Black
that.
Panther. It's one of my favorite Marvel movies.
Oh, there's so much you can do with the Black Panther series. My gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's going to be great. And Chadwick Boseman, that's his name? Chadwick?
Yeah.
Phenomenal actor. I've seen him
He's
in
great,
a couple
yeah.
other films now, and wow.
Well, he's in
What a great job.
that one coming up, 23 Bridges?
21 Bridges.
21 Bridges. That
Yeah.
looks good.
That looks
and that's
really
actually directed by the Russo brothers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, very
so,
good. Very good.
want to see that.
Again, Northeast Ohio, guys. Just saying. Northeast Ohio. And then, of course, thank goodness, we're going to have a Doctor Strange 2.
Oh, thank God.
We got to find out what's going on with that one
Mordo.
wizard that's
Baron
going rogue.
Mordo, yeah. And
What's up with
Doctor Strange is such a cool character because in the comics, like, the thresholds of his powers aren't really explained.
Right.
So you can do so much stuff with special effects to show so many, spectacular things that he can do. Like even in Infinity War, you saw the arms he grew like a whole bunch of arms and then duplicated himself and created black holes and mirror dimensions. All of the CGI and special effects you could use in that movie.
Haven't even scratched the surface.
Yeah, it could be really cool. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that one. And of course, we've got, and these are just the movies. This isn't the Disney Plus stuff that's going to be coming.
Yeah.
You got Shang-Chi.
Never heard of that.
Shang-Chi, it says, Shang-Chi to have a similar effect for Asian American superhero representation as Black Panther, is what they're saying. Doesn't really say too much about it, but it's kind of like a martial arts kind of thing, almost with some superpowers thrown in there, some martial arts with some superpowers.
So like Iron Fist, kind of like that.
I would think maybe like an Iron Fist or a
Daredevil.
Yeah. Sheesh.
Yeah, I've never heard of Shang-Chi.
That's
I've never heard of that
unconfirmed hero. Whether that's coming out, but that's they're talking pretty heavily about Shang.
Well, also didn't know anything about Guardians of the Galaxy, and that movie turned out to be fantastic. So we'll see.
And speaking of which, we got Guardians 3.
The Asgardians of the Galaxy.
Asgardians of the Galaxy. With hopefully they're going to go looking for Gamora and find out where she's at.
Yeah, well, Chris Hemsworth signed on for, I think it's 5 more movies, 2 of which are Guardians movies.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Fantastic.
So that'll be cool. Definitely.
So those are the ones that are in the MCU, our good friends. They've also got a, what's it called with the, like Thanos and all of those guys. The Eternals. They're going to have come out with an Eternals.
Yeah, I don't know that much about
those are going to be your folks like the Collector and Ego and all of those.
Really?
Yeah, it's supposed to be it's supposed to be set. It's a prequel. Supposedly, this is all what they're leaking out a little bit. It's supposed to be a prequel, thousands of years in the future.
Really?
Or in the past, rather. In the past.
Really?
Because Thanos has been around for a long, long time.
Yeah.
As well as the Collector and Jeff Goldblum. I'd have no problem if Jeff Goldblum came back.
Yeah. Well, they're actually doing, this is the little I've seen from the free comic book day, where there were Avengers thousands of years ago that was like Odin and like a Ghost Rider from prehistoric times. So they might be exploring something with that too if they're doing it in the comics. So that might be cool.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think that's going to be about. Is maybe Odin will show up, a young Anthony Hopkins. Sir,
that would be really cool if they
cool.
would be able to do the anti or de-aging stuff with him.
That's
sure.
That's going to be a lot of de-aging.
Yeah.
That's a lot of computer programs running. No, that's what would you like to see? I no mention of a Thor. No mention of another Thor movie.
I would like to see another Thor movie. More recent though, Spider-Man: Far From Home.
That's coming.
Can't wait for that. Mysterio.
And that's where we're going to find out more about the multiverse and things like that, like Spider-Man. What was the one that you
Into the Spider-Verse with Miles Morales and Spider-Man Noir, which was one of my favorites.
That opened up the whole multiverse, let everybody know that it exists, and now we're going to see some of that. Which now you can open up all kinds of different Marvel.
Yeah, X-Men too, Fantastic Four. I think that's how they're going to introduce those characters.
So, and don't forget, on Disney Plus, you're going to have your Loki series. Mm-hmm. You're going to have
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, Scarlet Witch.
Oh yeah, Scarlet Witch and Vision.
And Vision are going to have them. I would really like to see, if they're going to do a Thor, I wouldn't mind seeing an origin story for the Valkyrie. I think that would be
cool.
fantastic.
Yeah, I'd like to see a Revengers where Valkyrie, Thor, Korg, and Hulk get back together and do kind of a Guardians of the Galaxy thing. That could be funny.
There you go.
Yeah.
So lots of opportunities out there. We're looking forward to what's going to come next. I don't know. Are we going to see another $2 billion blockbuster like an Endgame?
No, I was thinking about this, and like I said, this Endgame was our Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're going to see another movie of this magnitude and spectacle in half a century. Yeah. I think that this was such a piece de resistance. Excuse my French.
We don't speak French in this house, folks. You'll be punished later.
It was just such a colossal moment, I think, in such a long-running series, that I think that the movies that are going to come after this are going to be very, very, very good, but they aren't going to come near as close to Endgame. And I don't think any movie is going to come close to Endgame unless DC can pull something spectacular in the next decade. But I don't think anything's going to come close to what this movie was.
Yeah, it's. I mean, this was over 10 years in the making, with Iron Man coming out in 2008, I believe it was.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a culmination of an awful lot. This is on the level of a Harry Potter series that was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it was just something that was a phenomenon.
Yeah.
That is going to take a long time to recreate, to capture that magic again.
Yeah. Something that inspired a generation. Inspired my generation, that's for sure.
And who knew? I mean, you're talking about comic books. This was something, you know, that most people kind of laughed off as, they're gonna do comic books, you know. And the movies that led up to Iron Man weren't very good. I mean, you're talking the Hulk movies, and I mean the Spider-Man movies were okay.
I love those movies. Those are great movies. Don't bad talk the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. Those are great movies.
We've had that conversation in this house as well. But, you know, and again, Spider-Man still isn't owned by Disney. I mean, it's owned by Sony, and they're going to do their thing with it. But the Marvel movies weren't what they have become under the Disney banner, and I just think that Disney did a great job by allowing them to do what they do.
Yeah.
And I hope that we've got a Star Wars movie coming out at the end of the year, and I hope that it does okay.
I hope it does okay. I think that that's the best we can hope for.
Yeah. And this is one of the problems. Keep in mind, this is going to be an issue for Disney and for everybody, every filmmaker now. A movie makes $700 million. And people are going to look at it and go, yeah, but it's not that much. Not when you're talking the billions now that Disney has expected from us.
Yeah.
So,
well, even to build a universe after this point using anything,
right?
You know, DC, Star Wars, anything, they've set a new bar, and it's going to be really, really interesting to see how Hollywood reacts to that.
Absolutely. So, I think you're going to see more and more films trying to come up with a series type film noir because I mean it's making them a ton of money.
Yeah.
So, all right, you got anything else, Bobby?
No, just if you haven't seen it, go out and see it, and if you haven't seen the other Marvel movies, then see those, because, geez, oh man, this was a fantastic series, and it ended on a high note.
Right. And if you haven't seen it, and we just spoiled the movies for you, we apologize. We did say there are spoilers.
If they're still listening, then they know what they got themselves into.
Yeah, you should have turned it off a long time ago. Anyway, that is all I've got. You guys can find us all over social media, and Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. You guys have been listening to The Gateway to the Magic. See you, everybody.
Vacation memories will stay with you and your family for a lifetime. The Resort Loop Travel Group was created with this in mind. Our fee-free services will relieve you of the stress and confusion of finding and booking the best vacation at the best price. After booking, we will continue to monitor for ways to save you even more on your vacation. We will check for any upcoming packages and discounts to save you as many vacation dollars as possible. Resort Loop Travel Group, gateway to your magical vacation memories. Get a quote, or for more information, visit ResortLoop.com.